Hey guys, it's me, Crab, and food, water, shelter, YouTube. These are the 5 most essential ingredients for humanity to survive in the modern age, okay? I can't think of any other website I use literally every single day. Can you? Because I know you use YouTube every single day. Don't lie to me. Everyone watches YouTube. So when I talked with my friend Jake, who also does YouTube, I was shocked to hear that he has never heard of JonTron before. We were talking about who are some of the OG YouTubers, okay? Who are some of the greatest YouTubers of all time, and he has never heard of JonTron. I showed him a picture and the gif where he goes like, "What? What? What the f-?" And the flex tape video, he was like, "No, I've never heard of this guy before. Is he like Scott the Woz?" And I was like, "Who the f is Scott the Woz? I've never heard of that person before." So he sent me his channel, and I gotta say, Scott the Woz is like one of my favorite YouTubers now. I guess YouTube just never recommended him to me, which kinda sucks, honestly. It's no secret that YouTube custom tailors your recommendations and homepage based on your activity on the site, which can lead to some people getting wildly different recommendations than others. And that got me thinking, damn, if I missed out on Scott the Woz, who else am I missing out on? And more importantly, who else are you missing out on? This video is for you, because in this video, I've created a list of some really high quality YouTubers that I'm gonna introduce you to. But the key word here is quality. I've selected the YouTubers I'm going to talk about based on 3 different factors. Number 1, effort, meaning how much research, writing, editing, and work goes into making their content. Unfortunately, this is gonna rule out almost all reaction channels that upload every single day by just sort of turning on the camera and starting talking without any real script prepared. Even though I really like channels like Charlie and Mudahar and find their content entertaining, I think it's fair to say that the majority of their content, at least, doesn't take a significant amount of effort to produce. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Again, I find them entertaining. I'm subscribed to them. But just for the purposes of this list, that kind of content isn't gonna cut it, alright? We need to do better. Number 2, entertainment value. This is subjective because different people find different topics entertaining. But I think we all can agree that universally, when creators show a high degree of knowledge and passion on the things they talk about and have some good visuals, some good editing and sound quality, and balance that with a entertaining personality and sense of humor, that's what makes for the best content, regardless of the genre we're talking about. And number 3, I want to focus on activity, okay? I only want to talk about channels that are actively posting content. I won't be talking about YouTubers who quit or have just sort of fallen off, and I'm going to try to avoid talking about channels that only make like 1 video a year and just peace out. Ideally, for this list, the more frequent their content is, the better. And the channels I've selected, I believe, have a great mix of all 3 of these factors, and I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you'll have a new favorite YouTuber and just tons of content you can check out that you've literally never heard of. In fact, that's gonna be your homework for today's video, okay? For each YouTuber I've selected, I'm going to recommend a video from theirs that I want you to watch. I'll be putting them down in the description, and I've put together a playlist that you can put on just to watch all of them back to back. If you have heard of some of the people I've talked about and are just like, I don't know, man, their content has never interested me, well, just check them out. Put them on in the background when you play Fortnite or something. Literally, why not? Just give them a shot. Who knows? They might end up being your new favorite YouTuber. You might find something you really like, and you might spice up your recommendations on YouTube. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Also, I'm just gonna skip past my own channel, because even though realistically I would make this list, instead, I'm gonna give that to Mr. Beast. You guys have probably... God, that was the lamest, most obvious joke I've ever made on this stupid channel.
fuck?
Okay, let's talk about Scott the Was.
Hey y'all, Scott here. I'm on life support now. No reason, just felt like it. I've been told the machine I'm hooked up to is doing some pretty great stuff. It's efficient, it's useful, it's made by Mad Cats. I should probably start proofreading my will.
Scott the Was makes comedic deep dive videos about video game history. He often will focus on one game or console, typically from Nintendo, and discuss and review everything about it. From the day it was announced, all the trailers of the game or the console, how he heard about it, fun facts about the development of the game, what he thinks about the gameplay from the opening of the game to the end, to all the side content, the controls, the graphics, the story, the music and sound design, the box art, the instruction booklet, the logo of the game, what it's like playing on original hardware or re-releases of the game, how it was received by consumers, how well it sold, and its impact on other games throughout the industry. He talks about everything and more, inserting a lot of comedic skits and commentary he makes with his friends.
I want to play Super Mario 64 on the go, but there's gotta be an easier way.
My favorite type of his videos are ones where he picks a subject like controllers or box art or remakes or handhelds, and he'll go over their entire history, starting from the first video games ever made. Scott the Was, he really knows his shit, and you can tell he really likes what he's doing, and he's super passionate about video games, and he's just genuinely a really funny guy. He has a very theatrical acting style.
Hey y'all, Scott here. I started a petition to force unemployment checks to be given out as 3DS eShop cards. That way nobody has an excuse to not have fun while being unemployed. Now that is the happiest looking angry mob I've ever seen.
He does this thing I really love where a lot of his jokes just go by so fast that you don't even have the chance to laugh or say, wait, what?
Powerful LED urine finder. That's what they used to call me in high school. We can see it works with babies, dogs.
His videos are so fast paced. They're just like, come on, let's go. We need to talk about all the video games, okay? I swear, this comparison has been made before. I just can't remember where I heard it, but Scott the Was truly is the spiritual successor to the angry video game nerd. Again, back in the day when I was a kid, the consoles I grew up with were the GameCube, the Wii, and the DS. And one of the channels I grew up watching was the Angry Video Game Nerd. And just like Scott, he would make videos about old consoles, interjecting his comedic skits and commentary.
It's Bugs Bunny! I can't believe it, in my own house! It's Bugs Bunny! Bugs fucking Bunny! Oh, I hate this shit right here. These platforms keep disappearing when you jump on them. Fuck!
But the consoles he focused on were way older, like the Atari and NES and shit. Consoles I didn't know much about because they were already out of circulation when I was a kid. Scott the Was basically does the same thing, just with a focus mostly on console generations after that, like the Wii and the DS and whatnot. And likewise, a big part of his audience are kids that are now growing up with even newer consoles like the Switch, the Xbox Series, Pro Series X Elite, or the PS5, and now they're watching Scott the Was to learn about the Wii and DS and GameCube. Just like how I used to watch the Angry Video Game Nerd. It's just interesting to see how, like, the internet is growing up. A couple of his videos actually have cameos from the Angry Video Game Nerd, and to me that just feels like a passing of the torch, I suppose. Honestly, Honestly, it's hard to pick just one of his videos to recommend because they're all pretty consistently good. But the one I'll choose for this video is his game packaging video, which is all about the box art and packaging for video games throughout history. And I know that sounds like a really boring video, but trust me, it's a good watch. It's funny, interesting, and even if you don't like video games, he's just a really entertaining personality. Yeah, check him out. By the way, guys, if I sound kind of off or really nasally in this video, it's because I actually have COVID. So do you think you could press like and subscribe to heal me from COVID, please? Remember when NFTs blew up and made a big stink a couple years ago? You probably saw this video. Line goes up. The problem with NFTs. It was a really well put together documentary talking about the toxic and bizarre culture surrounding NFTs, the effects of NFTs on the economy and environment, and what they mean for the future of investing and digital currency. The video went viral almost the day it was released, and it was really good. But I don't think enough people know that the guy who made it actually makes other videos too. Dan Olson is the man behind the channel Folding Ideas, and he started out making video essays critiquing, reviewing, and analyzing movies and other media. But lately, since the NFT video, he's been focusing more on documenting and critiquing shady financial topics and get-rich-quick schemes.
Here outside my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini.
Want to know the best way of making a big income online? It's making a lot of small incomes online.
I'm here within 400 feet of an elementary school to prove the haters wrong and to tell you about an unmissable business opportunity.
If you give me your money, I will use my magic powers to guarantee 500% APY.
He made another big documentary called This Is Financial Advice, which is almost just as good as the NFT documentary. It's about the time Reddit convinced everyone to buy GameStop stock, which disrupted the entire investment industry and made a lot of average people make or lose insane amounts of money, leading to some investing platforms outright banning the sale of GameStop stock, which flew their platform into the ground. He made another video exposing these twins who sold a really bizarre and exploitative get-rich-quick scheme on Audible, where the plan was to hire the cheapest ghostwriters and narrators you could find and get them to write complete nonsense and publish it as an audiobook, which led to the platform getting tons of terrible books and eventually Amazon stepping in to change their policies. This was all before AI, by the way, which made the methodology really interesting, because now people just use AI to do the same thing, like writing the book, designing the cover, or narrating it, and that's just boring. He also just released a video essay about James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd who I mentioned earlier. But I think to watch this one, you kind of already have to know who he is before jumping into it. If you do know who he is though, then it's a pretty good video. But I think my favorite video from his, and the one I'm going to recommend, was his critique of the Nostalgia Critic's Pink Floyd The Wall review, which the first half of the video serves as a really good mini video essay about Pink Floyd's The Wall, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. And the second half of the video is him critiquing the Nostalgia Critic quote review of the movie, and it has to be one of the worst movie reviews ever made, second only to the Marvels review by CrabcrabTV. The Nostalgia Critic team basically tried to recreate the entire movie as like a parody album slash video, but they just wildly misinterpreted everything about The Wall, and it just devolves into Doug Walker TikToker complaining about how people are mean to him on Twitter and unintelligible musical numbers with grotesque CGI furry characters. It's f***ing weird, dude.
That one looks like he really wants to be outraged. Now with social media, you have the stage. Hashtag, 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 hashtag.
And then he gets fucking arrested, bro. And he says hashtag free food shit.
Cringe. There's no other word for it. This makes me cringe. It's embarrassing.
Oh shit, I didn't even talk about Philip Defranco. Why didn't I start with him? Philip Defranco is a YouTuber who does news content almost every single day. But Crab, I thought you weren't going to talk about low effort channels who upload every day. Well, I'm not, okay? Can you just hear me out? Because Philip Defranco doesn't make low effort content. In fact, in a lot of ways, I think that Phil is the prime example of the great American YouTuber, okay? And he makes for the perfect, generically good baseline entry for this list. The man is one of the OGs, okay? He's been on this platform since 2006. And he started out by making vlogs and gossip videos and talking about sex before shifting all of his content to news coverage, which is what he does today. And he's still going with no end in sight. He talks about everything from world politics, current day happenings, entertainment and gaming, even YouTube and live streamer drama. And because of that, I think his audience can appeal to literally everyone. If you don't care about some of the stories he talks about, then you can just skip ahead to the ones that you do care about using the chapters he puts in every video. Philip Defranco is great at what he does. He has such an iconic voice and name, especially to be a news reporter. Like Philip Defranco, that is the most news reporter name I've ever heard. And his intro is really iconic also.
Sup, you beautiful bastards. Welcome back to the Philip Defranco Show, your daily dive into the news, and let's just jump into it.
But he kind of had to stop using that because YouTube changed their policies on swearing in the first minute of the video. So now he only says that sometimes, I guess. But his editing and thumbnails are really flashy, and his videos are straightforward, and they just get to the point. He covers 4 to 5 stories per video, then he reads comments from the last video, interspersed with some ad breaks here and there, all in the span of 20 to 30 minutes. And he releases videos 4 to 5 times a week, which is insane. The amount of stories and information he crams into near daily videos this short is something I haven't seen anywhere else, honestly. Like, genuinely is crazy. To put this into perspective, let me come clean about something, because this is actually what gave me a newfound appreciation of Philip Defranco. So in my 2023 review video, I talked about the H-Bomber guy plagiarism video, and it ended on this really ominous, unfinished joke. But fret not, my many viewers, because I pledge to you, I'm pledging to you right now, that I will never plagiarize someone else's content, that I will never copy the entire script of someone else's video and use their exact same editing style and all their footage and thumbnail and script and ad readings. I promise I will never do that. The plan was to immediately follow up that video by plagiarizing the latest Philip Defranco video, recreating the entire thing from start to finish. But I couldn't, because Phil is like one of my favorite YouTubers, man. And more importantly, I just couldn't be asked. I was too lazy. Even though the entire script, footage, and editing style was already there for me to copy. The guy, he talks too fast. I tried to record the first story and I just couldn't keep up. It's impossible. If it was me hosting and reading the scripts for his videos, then they would be at least twice as long. The fact Phil and his team can research the latest news, write scripts, record and edit the footage, create the thumbnail, and upload a new video 4 to 5 days a week is insane. That's a grind that takes years to perfect. And the guy has nearly 20 years of experience at this point. So that's what I mean when I call him the great American YouTuber, okay? He's an honest, hard-working dude that does YouTube to support his family, and he makes great content. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but Phil is like a father to me. When he does end up leaving YouTube, I will cry. I've relied on Phil for almost all my news coverage since I was in high school, probably, because I never really cared much for Twitter. He's no comedian. I'd only call him like mildly funny on occasion, but he's also not out of touch like a lot of those late night comedy talk show hosts. He's somewhere just in the middle between the production value of those shows and political streamers like my brother Hassan or Destiny. I don't know if I would call him unbiased, but for the most part, I think he's pretty good at covering and understanding points of view from all sides of the political spectrum, even though the guy is certainly more left-leaning. But it is his show at the end of the day. You're tuning into the news and then his opinion on the news. And if he does mess up a story, like getting some details wrong, he's pretty good at correcting it immediately in the next video and reading the comments that point that out. Phil is actually one of the few people I bought sponsorships from. I got Raycons a while back, which broke in less than a year, and I almost got Keeps, but that's a whole other story.
All right, buddy, you have two options here. You can save valuable time and money with Keeps, or you can use Good RX. Those are your two choices.
As for a video I'd recommend, well, it's the news. Just watch his latest one. Unless you're crazy like me and just like to rewatch news from 2016.
And just remember, as always, my name is Philip Defranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow for more news.
Turkey Tom makes documentary videos primarily about really strange people he finds online. He's really good at sifting through the absolute trashiest parts of the internet to find the most insane and degenerate people to make 30 to 50 minute or sometimes feature-length documentaries about their life story. Tom is a pretty edgy guy. His personality isn't for everyone, but I think he's a really good storyteller. His videos are entertaining, they have good editing, and he's very consistent with his once a month upload schedule. I wouldn't call it educational content though. Like, it's not there to help you learn things or get you thinking about really deep intellectual shit. It's educational in the same way that like TLC, the learning channel, is educational, you know what I mean? To me, his videos are like watching My Strange Addiction or My 600-Pound Life or Dr. Phil even. It's really trashy content, but it's so fascinating and absurd that once you get into it, you just can't look away. He also has a second channel where he uploads almost every single day, and he talks about more immediate drama and gossip surrounding internet personalities. But I just can't watch it. There's only so much internet degeneracy I can take in one day.
Jump! 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 Jump!
I think his main channel videos are really good though. He has this series called the Degenerates series where he covers a variety of people surrounding a particular fandom. To give an idea, he has a video called The Minecraft Degenerates, and he covers a lot of the Minecraft YouTubers who turned out to be really up child predators or domestic abusers or otherwise losers, creeps, and pedos, as the thumbnails say. And in that series, he has one for the Roblox community, the Brony community, the anime community. You get the gist. It makes for good content, and it spreads awareness against the dangers of interacting with these kinds of people online and just the internet in general. The internet, man, it can be a scary place sometimes. A while ago, I critiqued Gino Samuel's Chris Chan documentary series for being a bit too unnecessarily long, but Turkey Tom has a much more condensed documentary video about Chris Chan that I would say is probably the best, most up-to-date video covering their story from start to prison, and it's much more condensed and sanitized for YouTube, and it still manages to be 3 hours long. He also made a documentary about Isabella Janke, who was the person in the leaked phone call that Chris was talking to when they revealed the stuff that got them arrested. And perhaps unsurprisingly, Isabella Janke is a character that is almost as up as Chris Chan themselves. But the video from his that I'll recommend is his Randy Stare video. Okay, Randy Stare was a child YouTuber turned mass murderer after going insane and starting to believe that cartoon characters were real and speaking to him. He broadcasted his entire mental decline onto YouTube, with his videos going from fairly innocent to extremely disturbing, and eventually leading to him taking the lives of 4 people, including his own. It's a fascinating, terrible, extremely morbid look into what social isolation and mental illness can do to a person. And it just sucks that no one took action on the warning signs he was displaying. That got dark. Let's talk about something else. Jenny Nicholson is a YouTuber that I really wish uploaded more. She started out by making comedic skits and book and movie reviews, but lately she's been making these super long, in-depth reviews of theme parks and strange things she finds on the internet, and her videos are really, really well researched and put together. She often dresses up in costumes and makeup related to whatever she's talking about, and she has a really funny and sassy personality that's super entertaining. The subjects she makes videos about are surprisingly interesting. I'm not a huge fan of theme parks, but I really enjoyed her video on Evermore, which was this highly ambitious live action roleplay theme park similar to the show Westworld, just with a fantasy setting and trained actors instead of robot cowboys. And the park was like the dream project of this really eccentric entrepreneur who made his millions off tech, and it was said to rival Disneyland in both terms of scale and quality, all while being unconnected to any third-party IP or company. But the park had to close for several reasons, including COVID, fatal flaws in the business model of the park, the PR team threatening to sue Taylor Swift of all people, amongst other things that Jenny spends almost 4 hours talking about. Most recently, she made another 4-hour long video about the Star Wars hotel at Disneyland, which was an extremely expensive critical failure with a really bizarre premise and marketing. But the video I'll recommend by her is shorter. It's called The Church Play Cinematic Universe. Basically, she found this church that does insanely well-produced stage play musicals that are themed around / parodies of popular movies, except they crucify the main character to retell the story of Christ every Christmas.
Okay, I know I said Back to the Future was my favorite, but actually this one might be my favorite crucifixion. After all, this is a musical crucifixion.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never gonna keep me down.
Give her a watch. She's a good YouTuber. She only makes a video like once a year, but whenever she does, it's quality stuff. And I just wish she uploaded more. Aubrey is another documentary channel that I'd consider to have a more mainstream appeal than Turkey Tom, because lately his videos have been focusing on telling the story of more mainstream celebrities and other infamous people, compared to Tom, who often talks about pretty niche internet drama and lolcows. Aubrey likes to make videos on massive scandalous stories and infamous people like Andrew Tate, Kanye West, Elon Musk, and recently he dropped a 3-part documentary about Jeffrey Epstein. He does talk about internet celebrities as well though. Particularly he likes to talk about these really messed up family channels on YouTube. I think he was one of the first people to make a video documenting the Ruby Frankie 8 passengers family before the whole thing happened where she got arrested after her child ran away and was found extremely malnourished and covered in duct tape, and it was a huge story when that happened, and he made a follow-up video about it. His videos are really good. They have fantastic editing, music, and sound effects, and he has a really entertaining voice and personality that really brings his videos together. He's one of those YouTubers who I'm sure if he made a on-camera video like with his face, I'd be like, whoa, holy shit, that's not what I expected him to look like. You know what I mean? I'd recommend watching his Elizabeth Holmes video, who was the lady behind Theranos, which was a massive billion-dollar scandal about a blood testing device that defied physics by both diagnosing and treating illnesses with a very small sample of blood. But it was a scam, and obviously it didn't work, and she orchestrated fake tests to show investors, and now she's facing up to 11 years behind bars. It's a really crazy story, because it's just so absurd that she thought she could get away with it. It even got made into a biographical drama on Disney+. Really weird story, but yeah, Aubrey, he's good. Check him out. Sagan Hawkes is a YouTuber who covers, reviews, and analyzes horror stories told on the internet in really interesting and unconventional methods. Basically ARGs and creepypastas, which I find to be a really interesting storytelling medium. It's just one I can't be asked to sit through myself. If you don't know what ARGs or creepypastas are, I'll use the subject of one of his videos as an example, actually. Petscop is a YouTube channel and series that one day uploaded a video showing gameplay of a PS1 Pokemon-esque game called Petscop. But the strange thing about it was that it wasn't a real game. At least it wasn't one that anyone had ever heard of. And in the video, the person recording the game implies that he recorded this video to show his friend or a family member or something. It's clear he's talking and leaving notes for someone, but that's not the audience of the video. We don't know who that person is. And as he continues to play the game, really strange things start happening. He enters this dark, creepy area with a door and nothing to do, so the video ends. But in the next video, the door just randomly opened, so he goes inside to find a crying girl NPC, a tombstone with the name of a dead kid, a room with a mirror and strange reflection of his character in the game. Then he finds a room with an object, allowing him to type and ask questions to the game, but it just gives these weird cryptic responses until the text says, "Turn off the PlayStation. Marvin picks up tool. hurts me when PlayStation on. Then objects in the game start vanishing, and then he finds something, but for whatever reason, it really freaks out the person recording the video, and he places a black bar on the footage to censor it.
What the fuck?
Then the game starts making strange references to the person recording the footage in real life, and things get spooky. Things start getting pretty spooky. They just keep getting spookier and spookier, and the mystery thickens. I won't spoil it, but it's a cool series. It's kind of a twist on the classic Ben Drowned. Guys, I found a haunted video game kind of story that people tell on the internet, and the person who made it actually programmed the entire game just to tell this story on YouTube. And that takes a lot of technical skill. And there's some parts of the series that are seriously chilling. Like, it'll give you goosebumps, okay? But the issue is, and the issue I have with a lot of ARGs and internet art projects like these is to actually watch them. You have to watch all these videos that add up to 5 hours long in total. And for the most part, you're just watching this little guy walk around in silence with occasional commentary.
Well, that's red now.
And I just don't have the patience for that. I'm sorry. Some people are into it. Some people really like internet art pieces like these. They like to analyze every frame of the video and come up with theories and try to piece together the story, and I can see why. Like I said, I think it's a very fascinating storytelling medium, and obviously it's not just limited to these haunted video game kind of stories. There's tons of really well put together and fascinating art projects that people have put out there for free. But of course, not all of them are great. Oftentimes these kinds of projects are just made by one person for free, and it shows. A lot of the time they share the Five Nights at Freddy's method of storytelling, where again you just have to analyze every single frame and make theories or solve puzzles, and that's just something I don't have the patience for. I don't like doing that. I need someone else to put it all together in a concise video, going over all the key moments and theories behind the meaning with some good editing, some good narration and background music, and that's what Sagan Hawkes does. I forgot to mention, he actually makes the music for his videos, which is really cool. For me, his videos serve as a good alternative to actually watching and engaging with obscure internet art pieces like these. So I'd say, yeah, check out his Pet Scop video, since I've introduced it to you already. Might as well. It is one of his older videos though. I think the guy's content has improved a lot since then, and he's pretty good. He has to be one of my favorite YouTubers. Give him a watch. Let's talk about The Right Opinion, whose name sounds like it's some kind of political newsletter or something. But no, he's a British YouTuber who makes deep dive videos about internet and celebrity drama. And I know, drama. There's lots of drama channels on this video, but what can I say? I love the drama. I love the tea, alright? The Right Opinion is really good at doing deep dives into controversial situations and playing devil's advocate and trying to understand all perspectives and opinions in an attempt to find the right one, hence the name. His videos are really long and make for good background listening, and they have really good editing, often having different editors for each section of the video. Like Aubrey, he also made a video about Ruby Frankie sometime after she got arrested, which is a good watch. And most notoriously, he made a 4.5 hour long video detailing the story of Nikocado Avocado, who started out as a vegan YouTuber but turned into a mukbanger and grew morbidly obese and put his health at risk, all in chase of views online. But the videos I particularly like from The Right Opinion are ones where he exposes TV talk show hosts for just being assholes or facilitating asshole behavior on set. He has a really good video about Ellen DeGeneres, Lily Singh, Dr. Phil, and recently James Corden, which is the one I'm going to recommend. Check him out. Kinda similar to Sagan Hawkes, Pyrocynical is really good at making videos about pretty obscure indie horror games and mods that serve as a great alternative to actually playing them, which when you put it that way sounds really reductive, but honestly I think he's one of the few creators out there that truly takes the term transformative content to the next level. His videos do really deep analysis covering the plot, themes, gameplay elements, and history behind the games he talks about from start to finish, with some really good editing, props, animation, voice acting, and illustration, often collaborating with or hiring artists and voice actors to animate entire sections of his videos. Pyrocynical is a fantastic storyteller, and it's clear he has a very strong artistic vision that I haven't seen in a lot of other creators. To give one example, in his Half-Life 3 video, which talks about a mod for the game Half-Life 2 called Entropy 02, he commissioned Fortress Films, which is a Source filmmaker animator, to make a 5-minute long animated intro sequence, even spending $14,000 to use the song Man Who Sold the World, only for it to still get claimed and muted by the YouTube copyright system, which really sucks because the animation was a masterpiece. It was really cool and it set the tone for both the game and the video perfectly. But the point I'm trying to make is he didn't have to do that. He did it because he was really passionate about the game and he had a very strong artistic vision for his video, and that's not something you see from a lot of other standard game or mod reviewers, let alone the guy who started out by making montage parodies and pretty standard gameplay and commentary videos. But man, lately Pyrocynical, he has been putting out some of the best videos I've seen on this platform. I want to say ever. Yeah, I'll say ever. I'm kind of surprised to say that, but yeah, he's really good. His editing is legitimately funny. He interjects so many memes and sound effects to the point where his videos can seem almost incomprehensible to anyone but the most terminally online TikTok viewers. The subjects he decides to talk about in his videos are really interesting. I quite like this video on Total Chaos, which is a mod for Doom 2 of all things, which is insane because it looks like an entirely new game, and it has an original story with one of the most potent twists that I've seen in almost all media. And his Half-Life 3 / Entropy 02 video, which I mentioned earlier, is really good. I'm going to be recommending that one for anyone who was a fan of the Portal or Half-Life series of games. What I did was I watched the first half of the video where he talked about Entropy 01 because that first mod was pretty bad. I tried playing it and I just didn't like it, but when he started talking about Entropy 02, I was like, holy shit, this looks really good actually. So I paused the video and started playing that one myself, and I just came back and forth to the video as I played along. And I gotta say, I think that was probably one of the best gaming experiences experiences I had this year. But for people who aren't really fans of Half-Life or Portal, his video called The Best Game You Should Not Play is a decent entry point into the Pyrocynical library, okay? It's about the game Kane and Lynch Dog Days, which is by most means an objectively terrible game that's difficult to even get running, but it had a really interesting narrative and found footage art direction that's super unique to most games out there, and the game, it would have made for a good movie, to be honest, if only it was a functional game. Check it out, it's an interesting watch, and check out Pyrocynical. He's a good YouTuber. Oh man. Let's talk about another YouTube channel that's been around for ages. One that's not just one guy, but a whole cast of guys, okay? Red Letter Media is a channel about reviewing movies and sometimes TV shows, but the thing that sets them apart from other movie review channels is that their videos are like actual shows with a whole cast and scripted skits and production value. Their main movie review show, Half in the Bag, is really interesting because it's like a sitcom. The premise is the main characters, Mike and Jay, are VCR repairmen, and for the last 15 years now, they've been scamming this senile old man called Mr. Plinkett by pretending to fix his VCR player so he can watch his night court tapes. But in reality, all they do is talk about movies and come up with excuses and wacky hijinks to waste as much time as possible so they can drain Mr. Plinkett's life savings without ever actually fixing the VCR.
We're back!
Somebody there?
Another day, another dollar. Time to get back to work.
Where have you been for 4 weeks? My VCR ain't gonna fix itself.
Look, I'm going to the doctor for my weekly brain scan. Now, if you two schmucks haven't cleaned up all these beer bottles by the time I get back, I'm gonna fire the both of you.
Oh, shit.
That's bad news.
Yeah. I don't want to get fired. Hey, have you seen Captain America?
I have.
It's pretty interesting. I can't think of any other movie review show where they've built an entire set and have story arcs and multiple characters. It really is kind of like a sitcom, and the movie review part of the show is really good. Mike and Jay know a lot about movies and the technical details and marketing behind them. They're clearly very passionate and educated in the subject matter, and they've even worked on a few films themselves. They also have a more traditional movie review show on their channel called Review, where they rewatch an older movie to review and go into some of the history and behind the scenes of the film. But in my opinion, their best show is Best of the Worst. It's kind of like a game show almost. Basically, over the years, people have been sending these guys really bad, obscure VHS tapes that they find in like their grandma's basement or something. And Red Letter Media has been getting tons of these VHS tapes through their PO box. And in every episode, they randomly choose 3 or 4 tapes to watch using some sort of gimmick like a Wheel of Fortune or pachinko machine. Then they watch all the films back to back and discuss, review, and analyze to ultimately decide which film is the best of the worst and which film to destroy in some way that ties in to the movie they watch. It's pretty entertaining, and even if you're not fully paying attention, the show makes for great background noise. It has kind of like a Mythbusters vibe to it. They have a rotating cast of 3 to 4 people for each episode, including some celebrity guests like Patton Oswalt, Huey from The Boys, the kid from Home Alone, who is a pretty frequent guest on the show actually. But the main 3 guys, they all have a really entertaining dynamic and funny character quirks that are just super entertaining to watch. There's Mike, okay, who is super cynical and he has a very dry and blunt sense of humor and he almost never laughs, except at old people for some reason.
And I was suffering from chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder.
That's just a lady.
Yes,
Mike, that's a woman.
Emphysema, bronchitis.
What's so funny about her?
It was the inhalers that were full of steroids.
I think there's something wrong with you. What are you even laughing at? The background?
No, the things that are wrong with her.
What?
All the things wrong with her. Chronic pulmonary.
I was on
I thought you were laughing at the bad backdrop.
What the hell is wrong with you?
And he really loves Star Trek. He really, really loves Star Trek. He brings up Star Trek every chance he can, and he just goes on and on about it.
It reminds me of that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, when they accidentally created...
He's also the guy who voiced the really depressed guy in the pilot episode of Smiling Friends, which is something I just found out while researching this.
Hey, little buddy, how are you doing? Oh my god! Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my god! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Hello.
Then there's Rich Evans, okay, who is a living meme and legend. Have you seen this picture before? And this picture? That's him. They're the same person. That's Rich Evans. Rich is kind of the comic relief character on the show. He's often the butt of every joke and constantly getting bullied by Mike.
Our next film is The Suckling. He'll always be mommy's little mutant.
Is this a story about Rich Evans?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
This video is writing for results. The winning written report. Hey, this one might actually have some use.
Yeah. Were you planning on being like a writer?
I might need to write some things down. If I'm doing it, I want to do it right.
Okay, you know what? Yeah. If it's worth doing right.
I don't get it that much. I don't get it.
And Rich has this really iconic, uncontrollably loud laugh that you're just kind of going to have to get used to, honestly.
Black balls, my favorite.
This is what I think they said.
They just said it.
And he also really likes Star Trek. Just like Mike, they both go on and on about Star Trek every chance they get. Then there's Jay Bauman, who is a really good counterbalance to the other guys, because he's kind of just the normal, everyman guy in the group. At least he seems normal, but his favorite movies are always super fucked up horror movies about like murder and cannibalism, and he knows a lot about true crime and some really peculiar facts.
Normally a demo reel for an actor would be like, here's 5 or 6 different projects I was on, a student film, a little bit part in CSI Miami where I played like a homeless person.
Or Dead Body. That's
Dead
the
Body,
best. You know that's what Daisy Ridley did before Star Wars? She was like a dead cadaver. It's like we were saying, you get like a barrel, like a Jeffrey Dahmer type barrel, and fill it with water, and you do your exercises.
You say Jeffrey Dahmer type barrel? This is the first I ever heard he had a giant barrel.
He put people in barrels. That was part of his whole thing. He would get these giant blue barrels, and that's what he put fucking people in.
But the true star of the show on Best of the Worst are the films they watch. Some of them are so strange. They watch everything from instructional videos about trampolines, failed children's TV show pilots,
It's like a horror movie.
To go to school in a hospital?
Christian rock music videos from the 80s, extremely violent police training videos with instructions on how to handle satanic rituals.
Holy shit.
Yeah!
Fuck yeah! What? Yeah!
Postmodern, avant-garde, interpretive dancing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. Help!
Stop it!
And a lot of really gross and perverted horror movies that are borderline pornography and were basically made as an excuse for the director to get off.
That's, I don't like that. I don't like this movie.
So,
You never know what you're gonna get when you watch this show. Naturally, some episodes are better than others because, again, they select the VHS tapes randomly. And when they roll on a VHS tape about...
How to sell thousands of dollars worth of plants from your home, comma, even if your house is surrounded by huge discount stores and home improvement stores.
They have to talk about it. But on other episodes, the stuff they watch is so f***ing crazy. It's the most insane shit I've ever seen.
No, but all of a sudden, Blood Debt just pulls back the sleeve, and there's this tiny little Derringer guy. And then a fucking rocket shoots out of the gun and hits Bill.
That was the best ending ever.
Holy shit!
I also love how somehow these guys haven't gotten into any major controversy or drama with other creators over the years. The closest thing was when they had a cameo from Justin Roiland, where Rick and Morty appeared in their cinematic reboot for Half in the Bag episode.
Mike, why are we here again? Because, Jay, this Half in the Bag timeline is totally fucked. These guys have written themselves into a boring, dumb hole where they have to play characters that nobody wants to see. There's other Half in the Bag.
And then after, in like less than a week, all the crazy allegations about Justin Roiland came out, and they only addressed it in this really short throwaway line.
Well, Mr. Plinkett, what do you say we watch the new Night Court reboot?
Night Court? What the hell is Night Court? I've never heard of that show. As you both know, I'm a fan of Newhart.
Oh, right, because we're in a new timeline. I can't believe how poorly that's aged already.
If the channel just had one of these shows, it'd make the list. But the fact that it has 3 is great. So I'm actually gonna recommend 3 different videos. One from Half in the Bag, one from Review, and one from Best of the Worst. The links will be in the description and in the playlist I put together. If you walk away from this video only choosing one of these channels to watch, make sure it's these guys. I quite like them. They're pretty funny, and yeah, just a good channel all around. Anyway, that's the video. I hope you guys liked it. I wanted to let you know I've been thinking about slowing down my content to just like once a month or once every 2 months, because I'm actually in the progress of making my own J. Aubrey / Turkey Tom-esque documentary about a particular person, but I don't want to say who it's about because I don't want anyone to steal my idea again. okay? But I will say, the more research I've been doing into this person, I think it's fucking crazy that no one has ever made a video about them before. So it's going to be a huge video, okay? One that will probably take at least a year to complete, because I really want to do my due diligence on this and get everything right. It'll be good though, I can guarantee that. But yeah, in the meantime, I think I'll be putting out something like once a month. We'll see how that goes. But if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to let me know if you want to see more stuff like this, because I do have other recommendations I could give. Let me know in the comments who's your favorite YouTuber, okay? Because I could use some more content to check out myself. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Peace.